In May 2011, an article was published by Satoshi Kanazawa in the Scientific Fundamentalist. The article looked at why black women, on average, were deemed less physically attractive than women of other races. Satoshi's studies have shown that women, on average, are more physically attractive than men. So, women of all races, on average, are more physically attractive than the average man. Except, however, for black women.
Black women aren't ugly, we're invisible. Being Mary Jane.
I think the biggest thing why it's such a confusion or why it's such a thing that comes up is because narratives or visual narratives, what we see on screen, it seems to be as though all the things that we're put down for are the same things that are tried to be emulated in beauty. For example, big bums or big lips, tanned, darker skin. Obviously, if you're going on holiday, I don't want to be pasty or whatever it is. So it is, I can't really answer because as one set of people to have those attributes, for example, on a Latina girl, to be tanned or big bummed or kind of thing, that's fine. But as soon as it comes to us who have it naturally, as it were, then it becomes a problem. So it's a bit confusing. It's just the only, to be straightforward about it, the only difference here is that I'm actually darker. Everybody else is just lighter or the kind of thing. So is it just, it has to be that, I'm not saying it's that, but it has to be, because we have all of those things naturally, and it's okay for non-blacks to have them, but it's not all right for us, and so that doesn't make sense to me at all.
I think it's to do with as you said, the media is telling us we're ugly, and it is the media that decides who is seen as attractive and who is not. And the media is white, as we know. If you look at any billboard, anything, it's all white people. So I think, and the people behind that who put these images out there are white people. So I think it's in their own self-interest and to project that ideal of beauty, because that's all they know, and that's what the masses are. The mass people here are white people. We are in England, it's their country, so I understand to some extent why all we see and the only people who are portrayed as beautiful are white people, white women, white men.
As his studies have shown, black women are statistically no different from the average person. Yet they are deemed far less attractive than white, Asian and Native American women. In contrast, his research further shows that races do not differ in the physical attractiveness among men. However, in each wave of his survey, black women came out as significantly less physically attractive than women of all other races. Satoshi noted, "It is very interesting that even though black women are objectively less attractive than other women, black women and men subjectively consider themselves to be far more physically attractive." In wave 3 of his survey, he asked his respondents to rate their own physical attractivenesses on a scale of 1 to 4. His research showed that black women and black men both rated themselves to be far more attractive than individuals of other races.
I mean, for starters, we have different builds, most of us. So I think because of that, we're an easy target. But I also think it's just because we look so physically different. So like generally, all of the others, like they have lighter skin, they have smaller features. Like we're different. I think it's just like when everything's the same and one thing's different, it's just easy to just poke fun at it.
I think it's a stigma that's attached to us from being children. I mean, I watched something that was flying around on social media about babies, well, children looking at baby dolls, and they were pointing at the white baby doll and the black one, and this is a child of like 7 years old. They were asked which one's the good one or the bad one, and they pointed at the black one to say it was the bad one. So I think there's this stigma that's in our mind from being children that think, oh, black is bad. And again, in the media, black is always the negative, it's the demon, the dark things, and white is always the angel, the bright thing that's more positive.
But Satoshi, however, could not account for the markedly lower average level of physical attractiveness among black women. He summarised, black women are on average much heavier than the non-black women. However, this could not determine why black women on average were deemed as less physically attractive. He states the only thing he could conclude to potentially explain the lower average level of physical attractiveness amongst black women is testosterone. Africans on average have higher testosterone levels than other races, and testosterone, being a male hormone, affects the physical appearances of men and women differently. Men with higher levels of testosterone have more masculine features and are therefore deemed more physically attractive. In contrast, women with high levels of testosterone also have more masculine features and are therefore deemed less physically attractive. The race difference in the level of testosterone can therefore potentially explain why black women are deemed less physically attractive than women of other races, while black men are still considered more physically attractive than men of other races.
I think it keeps happening because we're seen as a threat. So in this day and age, the Eurocentric look is how you're supposed to look. So the whole fair skin, you know, the blonde hair, that kind of thing. But then I think to myself, well, you know, there's women, white women especially, who put collagen in their lips, who are having, you know, breast implants, butt implants. And I've even seen people who wear tan that is the same color as my skin. So I think there's a bit of confusion. I'm not sure where they're going with the whole black women are least attractive when you're trying to look like me. The one thing I don't understand is, why is it that you can't find me attractive, but yet you can find someone else attractive who has my qualities? That's what I don't understand. Because at the end of the day, I'm the real deal, whereas that person over there is paying for that stuff. Me, I was born with this stuff. It's a blessing.